Vulnerability fosters good emotions and mental health. Vulnerability also is a sign of courage. We become more resilient and brave when we embrace who we truly are and what we are feeling. The Vulnerable Scientist podcast is a space for scientists who are honest and authentic or are working towards it. Join the vulnerable space by either sending an audio using the link on the show notes talking about your highs and lows as a scientist, or by contacting Sarah Nyakeri, aka New Biochemist, to schedule a chat. The Vulnerable Scientist podcast benefits both the listener and the one sharing. You can now rate this podcast on Spotify or put a review on Apple Podcasts or any other listening platform with a rating button. And to share your thoughts, feel free to send an audio message using the audio link, either using your name or anonymously, to be published on the following episodes of the Vulnerable Scientist podcasts. Are you wondering what I use to upload and store my website spaces? Host Pinnacle. I've been using it for over 2 years right now and it has never disappointed me. So host your website today using Host Pinnacle, cheap and affordable and reliable services. To start experiencing Host Pinnacle goodness, click on the link on the show notes and you will not regret your decision. I love what you said about visions and, being open to them changing and not regretting on something not happening and seeing what your initial vision can be fixed into your current situation and how you can still solve the problem, but, targeting a different way of doing it. Anyway, so you mentioned that you had to find for yourself when you're doing your university education, both your masters and your and your bachelor's, of which the bachelor's I think was more of a struggle when it came to finances. And I'm just curious, what were you teaching when you were teaching, and how has the businesses that you're doing to survive, the things that you're selling, how have they influenced your current career, and do you think they were an integral part of you growing into where you want to go to?
Thank you, Sarah. I would say above anything, beyond anything else that I've ever done to raise money, the teaching really influenced my life a lot. I was teaching a secluded group of children in the Bulawayo community house at Nast, and I was teaching math and science to ordinary level students. These were colored children, and Muslims and Hindus. Some of them were Indians, and they couldn't fit into mainstream schools because of how their beliefs and religious dispositions did not allow them or restricted them from entering the Zimbabwean systems. So, in a way, I felt for them because they did not belong, just like I didn't. And we had so much fun together. Many schools did not want those children in their schools because they were difficult to handle. If it's the colored children, they're known for being very liberal. They do what they want, they say what they want. And I felt like they were greatly misunderstood. They were treated on the basis of stereotypes. majority of those children were wonderful children. And whilst they behaved like they were uncontrollable, right? Initially, when you got to understand the circumstances and got to talk to them and showed them that you believed in them, that you cared, that you wanted to see them succeed, because wherever they had been, they'd been treated like misfits, they were treated like they were hopeless, they were treated like they were just druggies. So I think they gave up. And to see a young child like that have given up and not have hope and just not care, it was quite sad for me, and I did my utmost best. I remember the excitement when I started seeing them putting more effort. I would bring up initiatives like, if you pass my Friday test, I'm going to buy you a burger or something. And it worked. They just wanted somebody who cared, right? And that experience was very wholesome for me. It's something that carried me through that time. To have people that look up to you and people who think you're awesome. They didn't know that I was in a space where I was not even happy with my own life, but I made them understand and believe that they could, because even that university, whilst I was doing a degree that I didn't enjoy, for them that was a great achievement, and they saw me and they were like, we want to be like Miss B. They called me Miss B then. And they would work so hard and they would be so excited for that test. I've never seen anybody be so excited about a Friday test, but because there was a burger and just that proud moment where you get that burger in front of everybody and you're the one who did the best. It was a life-changing moment for me, because I saw people who were vulnerable, who were just like me, who didn't know that I was just like them, and I had the opportunity to encourage them. I had the opportunity to teach them about life, to just share my experiences and to tell them that it's not, don't take what you have been defined as to be what you are. You are not that. You define yourself. And in between that math and science, right? We got to talk. We got to encourage each other. We got to feel like a family. Where outside they felt like they were different. Everybody looks at them weird. In this space, they were home. They enjoyed coming to school. And for me, that's, it made me realize that I could be anything. Whilst I was explaining to those children, it also echoed inside me, right? And whilst I saw them bloom from being these children who were smoking cigarettes in class to being very focused and hardworking young people who then went on to go to university when they were not expected to do those things, it's reinforced that belief in me as well, right? It helped them more than they will ever know, more than those kids will ever know. It helped me to understand that it's your perspective of yourself that shapes who you are. If you really believe you're not gonna make it, you will not, right? And making it is not one shape or form, right? Most of them not making it is becoming the doctor or the pharmacist, not some. So making it, some of them were really not great at academics, but because we had so many extracurricular activities, they got an opportunity to thrive, to try out the things that they could do, things that they enjoyed. Right? And that was a learning point for me. Whilst I was their teacher, I learned a lot about life through them. And I think that has been the same attitude that I've carried forward. When you asked me why I said yes to this podcast, Sarah, I told you I never say no, right? Because I realized that self-limiting is the biggest challenge. Self-sabotaging overthinking, analysis paralysis. All those things, the things that inhibit us. And from those experiences, those children, seeing them defy their own odds, I have taught myself, and with every experience that I've had in my own life, that confirms and asserts the same fact over and over again. Try, believe, tell yourself you can do it, right? I have carried forward that same philosophy. I do not let go of an opportunity, right? Unless I try and I fail and I really see that I've failed, right? I will apply for everything. I will take on anything. If it's an offer, I will try and fail first, right? So, even now, the field that I am in, right, it's dominated by pharmacists. I didn't do pharmacy. I did biochemistry. And a lot of the opportunities that come up, they say we need you to have a pharmacy as an undergraduate degree. I don't have that. But now, in the space that I am, I don't care. I simply do not. If anything, this difference, this thing that I am, is what's going to distinguish me. Those children being colored, Hindu, Indian, is what distinguished them and what distinguishes them even now. And they should build on that and take advantage of that. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm doing even now. Being a woman in corporate is not easy. It's not normal, right? It will draw attention. I will use that attention for my benefit. So, I've done so many side hustles. I've sold perfumes, which made me to be confident to approach anyone and everyone. I'm not scared of anyone, in a good way, not in a disrespectful way. But there's nobody that I will not approach for an opportunity that I feel I want. And that has brought me so many great connections. That has got me so many great mentors. Because through selling, I ended up selling to half of my department's lecturers. They now had their perfumes from me. Once the finished, they come from. But it would puzzle other students. How did you talk to that lecturer? He's so scary. That professor is so scary. How did you even talk about perfumes with him? But if anything, that has taught me in life that most of the people that we do not approach, most of the people that we're scared of, they're so easygoing. And even in my professional life, I've realized that when you approach somebody, no offense, but when you approach somebody of a lower rank for one opportunity or for help, you're most likely not going to get that help as compared to when you approach somebody who is in the highest rank in that same area, right? Because normally people in lower ranks, as we are timid, we are scared, we are not confident in our own capacity, in our own capabilities. But person who is in that office who has already seen everything and knows it all, they are more understanding, they're more confident, they're more willing to help, they have the resources to help. But we are so timid, we're so scared. So I think that's, I have to get it attitude, that I have to make it happen attitude is even what makes me so confident even now. I have no idea up to now how I'm going to get where I'm going to get. I don't know how I'm going to get anybody to invest in bringing biological manufacturing into Africa, let alone Zimbabwe. But I dare to dream it. Simply because I started by daring to sell a perfume to a university professor, and it worked. So if it could work, then it's just going to be bigger and more intimidating. But it's the same principle. Ask. When you ask, you have a chance, but when you do not ask, it's an automatic no. So, yeah. I think that experience has molded and made me a lot of who I am now.
When you ask, you have a chance. When you don't ask, it's definite. No, I love that you said that. And mentioning that we don't have, most of the time, we don't have confidence to approach people who are higher than us in different spectrum in life. And I think that contributes to how far we can get and what we can try. And I love that you mentioned that, and how that kind of small thing that someone would say, selling stuff, how it builds your personality, your character, and how important that is in your career right now and your future career. I remember I even wrote about this, where even the smallest exposure in things that we don't see them being applied in other areas, how they influence who we are and what we do in different things, and the importance of being confident and knowing that you're worthy talking to someone you think they are high up there. I mean, we are all the same, it's just that we have different roles and different capacities and different things. It's not like there's someone who's greater than any other person in the world. And I love that you're so positive about that skill being used to, achieve the dreams that you're having, that they seem so impossible, especially in your country. And I love that you also mentioned that aspect. We know a lot about Zimbabwe. Okay, we know a lot about it, but at the same time, we don't know much about it. But there's so much, I think, challenges that happen there that are different from other countries. I'm loving the positivity. So, I was wondering how your mom being sick, I don't know. I was just wondering. I don't know if it's a question. I was just wondering, how did you feel at that moment, knowing that your mom being in hospital and you taking care of her, it's because of you? Like, I don't know what was going. I would just wonder what was going through your mind. It must be hard. It must be hard for you. Anyway, I love it. You're talking about the corporate science, and this is what I like about this. It's not always about academia. We don't have to. If you're in science, you don't have to go directly. Like, you don't have to be successful or be termed successful if you're in academia, or if you have a PhD as your, your mom kind of pushes you to do. And I love that you know what you want and you're strong at it, and you've changed from that person who was so much influenced by people's perception about who you're supposed to be and what is supposed to be considered a good thing. And now you kinda, in that space that you can say no to things, as much as you mentioned that you always say yeah, you never say no, but you can say no to someone you admire, someone you love, and tell them, this is what I want and this is where I'm headed. And I love that. I love that. And I think this conversation is important because we need to do science, more science. Yes, this fundamental science is also important. Academic science is also important, but also the corporate business side of science is also important, especially in our infrastructure in Africa, where most of the businesses, of which most businesses, I think if you were to do a study, you'll see the most thriving businesses are in pharmaceuticals right now in the world. Like that's where most money is. But in Africa, we haven't valued the need first to even fund the research that brings the science products into life, and also the importance of also investing in pharmaceutical manufacturing here, and how, as much as it's something that, which is actually the most important thing, help us as a problem solver, it is also a very good business idea. And if people were, their eyes were opened, and they were, exposed more on the need to do such kind of business, then we will be more self-sustainable, and we'll spend less money when it comes, especially the consumers will spend less money when it comes to medicine as compared to now, where we're outsourcing everything. And it's sad that, yes, you could do a great thing where you're the one who's, regulating what kind of medicine comes into your country, but it will be nice if you're also regulating the things that are being manufactured in your own country. And, anyway, I don't know what I'm saying, but there's a lot that I'm learning from this, and I'm loving that we're having this conversation. And I don't know, is there anything that you would like to add to out there, that you'd like to say to someone listening to this? And maybe could add if having this conversation has influenced, or don't know, had made you, what does it make you feel having this conversation?
Thank you, Sarah. To be honest, I'm very excited that I have got a platform to share not just my vision, but my hope about where we could be in pharma in Africa, right? As you rightly said, big money is in big pharma right now. Talk of COVID, pharma has been on the highlight, right? Vaccines. This could be our opportunity as Africa to wake up to the core of biotechnology is relevant and important in healthcare. But I don't think anybody's noticed, or I don't know, maybe they are. I just feel like it should be more urgent. It should be treated with more urgency than we see now, right? Investment towards technology, pharmaceutical technology on this continent, right? But I feel like legislatively, it's not a priority. But what is more important in this world than having our people fed and having our people healthy, right? What is? Maybe I'm speaking from a point of view of somebody who has got limited knowledge about politics and all these other things, but I would feel those are priorities. If your people have got food, that's ultimately the most important. If your people are healthy, because what economy? We are all sickling. What economy are we running? Right. So I think those are pillars that we should take care about. But right now we are happy that we're getting donations in Africa for vaccines. We're happy that maybe import prices are cheaper for some medicines. Do we not get the memo? Right? That is always what gets to me, right? That's one thing. As somebody in pharma right now who thinks about it. Then the other thing that I just want to share, right? It's cliche, right? Everybody talks about it, it's everywhere. But to a woman, a young woman particularly who is listening to this podcast right now, if there was a moment that you said you would love to create a space where you get men involved, we talk about what women want, what it is that we really want, and how we could get it, how men can help. And you're absolutely right. But I also want to say this to you, Sarah, and to that young woman who's listening right now, right? If you were going to take a look at our history, feminism, advocacy over the years, right? It has only been, it's only fair for us to acknowledge, right? In as much as it's still small and there's a great way to go, we need to fairly acknowledge that if men have done anything in this fight for bringing women voices out, for bringing seats for women, men have tried. Like, they are trying. They can get better. They've not done everything, but they're trying. Legislatively, men have got the political seats. Men have got the power and influence right now for the world. But they have sat down and listened to the women and changed the platforms for women. They've set rules where women are supposed to get equal salaries. We have had in my country, there has been allowances for the girl child to be able to access getting into medicine, getting into pharmacy, getting into any degree with lower points, because we understand, the world understands, society now understands that because of simply being a girl, we are at a disadvantage that sometimes makes us not able to, get as many points as guys, right? But it does not mean that we are not capable, we're less intelligent. It just means that whilst a boy child leaves school, comes home and starts to study, I as a girl child may have to leave school, come, start cooking, go and fetch water, and do other things before I can study, which automatically may lower my performance. So to increase access to some of these opportunities, women are allowed to get at these opportunities. It's a lower entrance expectation than men, right? Those are steps that have been done. But I think more than anything else, the thing that has slowed down progress and movement towards having more women involved is not really permission from men, right? Access, we have it more than any other time in history. Women at this point have got access, right, to those seats, to the podium, to the spotlight. We have, right? But how many young women right now, Sarah, are daring enough to go for it, to stop being timid, to believe that this is an opportunity I can take? I believe more than anything, and this is where the society now needs to focus on, right? The psychology, the thought process, the mentality, right? That is the monster that has been limiting us, right? The imposter syndrome. You are given a position in a company, you feel you're not going to do it well, and you probably won't, right? Because you feel you're an imposter. You have got the same opportunity to ask for a pay raise, to ask for a promotion in a company, but you won't because you undermine yourself, right? If there's anything that I'm going to add to this conversation outside of science, right, it's that we should not wait to be given opportunities. This is the time where you grab it, right? This is the time where we stop being afraid. This is the time where we gather our courage, we gather our confidence, we say whatever, and you just go, you try, right? What's gonna happen? They're gonna say no, then what? You tried, right? It wouldn't be me if I didn't talk about this. Everywhere I go, I have this conversation because it's for me. Even if I have a daughter, that's one thing that they'll grow up knowing. Do not self-eliminate. I feel I've seen my experience right now has showed me that more than anything, it's the timidity in us women. We self-eliminate most of the time, even when we have a chance. I'm not saying we have got a fair chance. No, we do not. Things could be better for women. Opportunities could be more for women. And we have got men who undermine women, who take advantage. I just shared my experience of the unprofessionalism experience. Right. But if I took that to heart and took that personally and said it's my problem as Belinda, and I'm not going to overcome or take this on, then that's it. That's the end of the story for that particular individual woman. And if it's one woman, then it's all women. Right? So I would need a whole other podcast to talk about this because I'm so passionate about it. But yeah, this is the one thing that I want to add. Thank you for the opportunity. And I wish for any woman that's listening to just stop being afraid, right? Really. Fear, I feel like, is the biggest enemy. Right? It's the biggest. Then in the context of science, yeah. Guys, Africa needs to start doing its own things, right? We need to start doing our own thing. We're not gonna get far riding on the back of the East or the West or whomever. And the moment we wake up to that, it's gonna be better. But it starts with us as individuals, as scientists. So yeah, that's all that I would like to add for now.
I love that you said that. And I'm happy that you're willing to come again and let's talk about these issues more. And I love that you have so much like to shed on that. And this has reminded me of, I don't know where I had this conversation, but I was overhearing this conversation where someone said, they were saying that for us women, we kind of scared to ask for promotions or to grow because you are, I don't know, if you have a career in whatever space that you are as a woman, you feel that you need to take care of your family. You're not even, it's, I don't know how to say it in English. In Swahili we say kuna bahati that you're already here. Like you're lucky that you're already in this space. So what are you asking more? What is your problem? Why do you want to grow more? Aren't you satisfied with where you are? You know how many, there's so many, as in, for example, I don't know, my sister is in an organization that doesn't have not even a lot of women, doesn't have any woman in leadership, and she's the highest in terms of where she is to be a woman in that space. Like she's the highest, and most of them would say it has something to do with women misbehaving, but really it's not that. It's just because when women come into the organization, they get harassed by men until they give up and they don't want to go on with it. But someone senior to her said to her, it's good that you're here. It's good that you've thrived up to here. Those men can be very annoying. And this is a man saying that. If you've been able to survive that, then you're able to grow. And I love that was said, but at the same time I don't like that it was said like that, because not everybody has the same resilience. Not everybody has the same exposure when it comes to going through certain challenges that you face through this career paths as a woman. And I wish people were treated the same. I wish someone would see you as a person, not as a woman and someone they can take advantage of. So as women, I feel like we are so unapologetic of where, if we're given if not even given, if we get to a space and we feel like this is enough, at least I am better off compared to another woman. At least I'm the highest in terms of a woman being that space. But that's not enough. I mean, there's more, as in, it doesn't mean that if you're here, that then you shouldn't crave for more. I want this conversation. I want more of this conversation, and I love that you've brought into it, and I hope that we'll have another podcast just talking about this, women, not necessarily in science, but just in your career, and I feel like you have so much wisdom to share. So Belinda, thanks for coming in, and I'm hoping that this message will reach out there, and we'll have more conversations on this. Bye.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about these issues. I am very excited for our next podcast where we could talk about women and leadership and governance, because that's a hot topic that we need to also explore. But thank you so much. Thank you.
Do you want to start your own podcast? Start with some simple gear that you already have and a quiet space. Simple gear includes a microphone, editing software, and host of your podcast. Simple microphones include the ones on your phones and computers, and a simple recorder, which you can upgrade later. For the editing software, I use Audacity, which is free and simple to use. Buzzsprout, which over 1,000 other fellow podcasters like me use, is one of the podcast hosting providers you can use. Buzzsprout has helped me link my show on every major podcast platform. With the endless number and regularly updated tutorials and good customer service support Buzzsprout offers, my podcasting journey has been made easy. Following the link in the show notes, let Buzzsprout know we sent you, gets you a $20 Amazon gift card if you sign up for a paid plan, and helps support our show.